this class, we are going to see only these modal verbs, must and should. Have to is not a modal verb, but it has a relationship with must. That's why we include it in this grammar explanation. First, we are going to check the structure for these two verbs. Must is an auxiliary verb. That's why it needs to have a main verb, as we can see in the example. We must call early. The form of the verb after must is going to be the simple form. We are going to use must for all the persons. I must, you must, he must, she must, it must, we must, you must, they must. It doesn't change. And after it, as I told you, we are going to use the simple form of the main verb. Then check the structures in affirmative, negative, and question with short answers. We must call early. We mustn't call early. Must we call early? Yes, we must. No, we mustn't. But there is an important aspect that we need to take in count. Must has no past or future form. Use have to and will have to for these tenses, past and future. And must, is not very common. Use it in questions. For example, we cannot say or we cannot ask, must we call early? This is not common in English. Then, as I told you, have to is not an auxiliary verb properly, but it has a similar use with must. Have to, remember that have to use the auxiliary verb do or does in present. We are going to use do or does, the auxiliary verb, in negative, questions, and short possible answers. Let's see the structures. He has to wear a uniform. Remember that the form of has is used with the third person singular. He has, she has, it has. And after has, we have to use the infinitive form of the verb. He has to wear, okay. Then, as I told you, we have I, you, we, and they that use have to. I have to wear a uniform. You have to wear a uniform. They have to wear a uniform. But remember that for the third person, we use has. In negative, we use the auxiliary verbs in present, do or does. In negative, commonly in contraction. He doesn't have to wear a uniform. Remember that when we use the auxiliary verb, the verb have returns to the simple form. He doesn't have, no, he doesn't has. No, has is going to be only for affirmative. In negative, we have the auxiliary verb, then our verb is going to be in the simple form. He doesn't have to wear a uniform. She doesn't have to wear a uniform. It doesn't have to wear a uniform. Remember, we have the other form. I don't have to wear a uniform. You don't have to wear a uniform. They don't have to wear a uniform. In question, does he have to wear a uniform? We are going to do the same as that in negative. We are going to use the auxiliary does in affirmative or do. And then after the subject, we are going to use the verb have in simple form. Does he have to wear a uniform? Does she have to wear a uniform? Does it have to wear a uniform? And with the other subjects, do I have to wear a uniform? Do you have to wear a uniform? Do they have to wear a uniform? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, you don't. Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. As we saw in the previous explanation, have to is not an auxiliary verb. Use do or did in negative and questions. Remember that did is used for past tense. Here we have an example. He didn't have to wear a uniform. Didn't refers to the past tense. Use had to talk about the past and will have to talk about the future. Yesterday, I had to go to the dentist. Remember that had is an irregular verb. That's why we have to change the form to had. I will have to speak to her tomorrow. And don't forget that will is the auxiliary verb for future tense. Have is more common use in question instead of must. Do we have to call early? Yes, you do. No, you don't. Let's see the most common uses of these two verbs. Must expresses obligation. That comes from the speaker. The speaker thinks this action is necessary to do it. Let's see this example. You must be here at 7. You must stop smoking. The obligation comes from the smoker or the manager, okay? They think it's necessary to do these activities. With have to, we express obligation, but this obligation is external. Another person thinks it's necessary to do it. For example, I have to be here at 7. I have to stop smoking. The obligation comes from the doctor. The doctor thinks it's necessary. Okay? Then if we if we want to express no obligation, we are going to use don't have to. Only the verb have to in negative if we refer to obligation. You can do something, but you don't need to do it. It's not necessary. For example, you don't have to wait here. It means you don't need to wait here. It is not necessary. He doesn't have to call her at work. He doesn't need to call her if he doesn't want to do it. It's not necessary to. In the opposite, we have mustn't. If we use must in negative, we don't express no obligation. We express prohibition. You can't do something. It's necessary that you don't do it. For example, you mustn't wait here. You can't wait here. It's not allowed. He mustn't call her at work. It means he can't call her at work. It's necessary that he doesn't call her at work because she is working. Then our there auxiliary verb that we are going to check in this class is should or shouldn't in negative. It is used to give advices. In affirmative, as we can see in this table, we are going to use should for all the subjects, all the persons, without any change. And after should, we are going to use the verb in simple form. I should go, you should go, he should go, she should go, it should go, we should go, they should go. It doesn't change. For negative, as we saw in the title, we have shouldn't or we can write it or say it separately. Should not. I should not go, you should not go, he should not go, she should not go, it shouldn't go, we shouldn't go, they shouldn't go. As the same as the affirmative, it doesn't change. In question, should I go? Should you go? Should he go? Should she go? Yes, I should, or no, I shouldn't. Yes, you should. No, you shouldn't. Yes, he should. No, he shouldn't. Yes, she should. No, she shouldn't. Remember that we use should to give advices. For example, if you have a stomach ache, you should go to the doctor. It's an advice that I give you. You should go to the doctor for your stomach ache. Okay? Thank you so much for your attention to this presentation. Okay. Now let's go to Kahoot to do an exercise about these modal verbs. Sorry, the internet is slow. Thank you for your patience. Okay, the pin for our game is 2768025. Or scan the code that we have on the screen, please. Okay, let's start with our game. Amelie is on the third place. Carlos Casas is on the second place. And on the first place is Marlene Maya. Congratulations. Okay, let's see then. I have some advertisements for you. El examen hasta hoy lo van a habilitar. Y recuerden que tenemos como fecha ahorita en el calendario, como fecha límite, el 14 de noviembre, ¿sí? Que sería el martes, que sería el último día. Y recuerden que también para ese día debe de estar cubierta la unidad 3 y la unidad 4. En la unidad 3, recuerden, subimos la actividad que nos piden y el portafolio de evidencias correspondiente. Y en la unidad 4 nada más el portafolio de evidencias. Por favor, es muy importante que ustedes también chequen en la plataforma las entregas y las calificaciones que van obteniendo, ¿sí? Para que no se les quede nada rezagado, ya que en esta última parte que vamos a iniciar ahorita en noviembre, diciembre, finalizamos inglés 5, pero no finalizamos el curso en sí. Recuerden que se compone de 2 semestres. Entonces, finalizamos inglés 5 y la calificación que obtengan se va a promediar con la calificación de inglés 6 para sacar su resultado final. ¿Ok? No sé si tengan alguna pregunta, alguna aclaración. ¿No? ¿Estamos bien?
No.
Okay, then, thank you so much, as always, for your time, your interest, and your attendance to this class. Don't forget to write your full name, and see you next class. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.